Hello and welcome to OFAD 218, which is the spreadsheets course. My name is Ann Mills and I'll be the professor for this course throughout the summer. And I want to begin this demo just by giving you an overview of what I plan to cover in probably what will be 3 videos. First thing is introductions I've already made. I want to go over the syllabus in one of the demonstrations, and that'll probably just be this demonstration because the syllabus is kind of lengthy. It'll take a little bit of time to get through that. And then I'll create another demo that will give you additional information about the tabs that are found in Blackboard. We'll also talk about the discussion board assignments, so just be a few of those, not very many. And then the SNAP program, I'll probably have a separate demo for that. And then we'll also talk about tests that will be expected throughout the semester, and then finally the tasks that will be completed for week 1. So I'm going to begin first of all with the syllabus, and you can find the syllabus found in the syllabus tab in Blackboard, so you can print it out and keep that as a guide throughout the semester. But I want to go through the syllabus just highlighting things that I think are well, it's all important, I shouldn't say that, but I just want to highlight things that to draw your attention to so that you don't miss that throughout the semester. And you'll notice at the top here the contact information. Again, my name is Ann Mills and my phone number is listed there along with my email address, where I'm located, which is room 211S on the Evansville campus. And for the most part each week I'll be here on Mondays and Tuesdays 9 to 12. And like I said, I am on the Evansville campus. If you happen to just stop by, you're already on campus, feel free to stop by. I would love to meet you. But if you're making a special trip to campus, you may want to make an appointment to see me, because there are a couple weeks where I'm going to have to switch the Tuesday or the Monday times to another day in the week. So I'd hate for you to make a trip to the Evansville campus and I not be here. So you can certainly schedule an appointment to see me through Campus Connect, and I would be happy to meet with you if you need that throughout the semester. And then the next area, the instructor supervisor, provide information about her. That's for the summer semester only. And then you'll notice too underneath that they've provided information here for any technical issues, particularly Blackboard, Campus Connect, email. The Ivy line number is listed there for you as well. And then the online learning support, if you have specific questions about Blackboard in particular, you can contact Tony Toon. His number is listed there. Also, there's an email address that's been provided that's not Tony's address, but it's a department email address and typically Tony responds to this email address. But if for some reason he's out of the office on a certain day, then there will be others that will be checking that email address. And they are located on the Ivy Tech campus in room 144. The next little area, I'll probably let you read through the course outline of record here, the prerequisites, how many credit hours it is. Contact hours is actually online rather than lecture. Catalog description I'll let you read through. Major course learning objectives you can read through, and the course content I'll let you read through on your own. Then the next section is the textbook. We will be using the Microsoft Excel 2013 textbook that's put out by Rakowski. It's a benchmark series that contains levels 1 and 2. And I've provided the ISBN number there. Also, this textbook should come with a 180-day trial version of Office, which will include Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this a little bit further down in the syllabus. Then the other item that you'll need for the course is the SNAP Office Training 2013 code, which will enable you to access the learning and training assessment software that's web-based. So that will need to be purchased as well. Now, if you've already had a class in the fall or in the spring of this past, fall of 2013, spring of 2014, that used SNAP before, then you don't need to purchase another code. So for example, if you've had the Word class or the Access class previously and you purchased SNAP with that, then you don't need to purchase an additional SNAP code for this course. And then other materials and supplies that you'll need. USB drive, I just put that on there if you wish to make backups of the work that you're completing within the course. I understand some of your laptops and computers have sufficient amount of memory and storage area that you may want to use as backup too, but USB drive is always an option. And then you will need the Office 2013 software. The third bulleted item there talks about 2013 software being available to Ivy Tech students in the form of Office 365. And I've given you the steps to get that, download that if you want to use it. And you'll notice here that this is a 1-year subscription. You can renew it as long as you're an Ivy Tech student. So if you do not already have 2013 loaded on your computer, okay, if you don't already have it, then you may want to consider this Office 365. And the reason, even over the trial version, the reason I say that is the trial version lasts you 180 days, and when that's up, then you could go ahead and add the 365. But it's a lot of trouble to, download it and then or install it and then uninstall it. So the 365 may be a better option for you. Obviously, if you already have 2013 on your computer, then you don't need to worry about the 365 or anything like that. I will mention, if you have multiple versions of Office on your computer or on the computer that you're going to use for this class, it probably will cause problems when you use Snap. The Snap software gets a little bit confused if you've got previous versions or multiple versions of Office on your computer. So for example, if you're still using Office 2010 and now you're going to be installing 2013 or 365, then you've got 2 versions on there, and Snap doesn't know what to do with that sometimes. So I either highly recommend that you remove the previous versions, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you'll need to access a computer that only has 1 version. And that one alternative is to come to the library at Ivy Tech. They only have 2013 on their computers. So when you purchase Snap, you should receive the activation code. That'll be bundled in the packaging, and you'll need that when you register with Snap. You also need the enrollment key, and I'll give that to you in your announcement area. And I mentioned here in red, just again, you only want 1 version of Office 2013 or 365 on your computer. So just highlighting that and re-emphasizing that again and again. The next little section is how to order your textbook materials. You may need to, I don't know if you already have your textbook or not, but you can go through and read through that. You'll basically be ordering it through the Ivy Tech bookstore. The technology needs and resources area, they talk about this being a web-based course, which it is, but we do expect that you know some basics here, using email, sending attachments, using web browsers, using word processing software such as Word. A couple of the chapters within our Excel book does have you creating a memo and doing some things in Word and then using that in conjunction with Excel. So we do expect you to know some of those basic features prior to this class. Then also we expect you to check your Ivy Tech email accounts, or if you send me another email account that you would prefer me using, you can certainly do that, but we do highly recommend that students check their email accounts at least every 36 hours, 48 hours maybe, and then that way if there are any reason why we need to contact you, we can certainly do that. Typically, if I make a change to a syllabus or to anything in the course, I'll do that through an announcement area rather than email, but there are times when I need to contact a student individually, so that those email accounts need to be up to date. And again, if it's not an Ivy Tech account, then you can email me and tell me what your preferred email address would be. And I'll mention this a little bit later, but I do prefer that we use email in the course rather than the messages tool that's found within Blackboard. And it talks a little bit more here about the USB drive. I'll let you read through that. The headphones, you can look through that. Online learning website, you may want to look at that too. This gives you some information about the technology requirements for an online course. So you may want to review that website as well. And again, technical issues, if you have problems with Blackboard Campus Connect, the number here is found just like it was at the top of the course, the syllabus. The college policies, these are pretty consistent in all of our School of Business syllabi, so if you've taken our classes previously, these will be a review. Otherwise, I would recommend that you read through each one of these little sections. The ADA statement area, if you do qualify for a service through ADA, then make sure that you contact your local coordinator, and then that person will contact me and let me know how I can accommodate you on quizzes or tests or whatever the accommodation is. And then the course policies and procedures area, the due dates, deadlines, I've tried to put those on the course calendar. Those are found at the bottom of this syllabus. You'll find the course calendar, and you'll want to check those for the due dates, but also every week I will post an announcement by noon indicating and kind of confirming, and hopefully we'll stay in good connection with the course syllabus, but there are course calendar, I'm sorry. But there are times when sometimes I change an assignment or whatever, and I'll do all that through an announcement. Again, that'll be posted in Blackboard at the beginning of each week. We do talk about turning in timely assignments. Just because your computer shuts down or the network goes down or whatever, you still need to turn in your assignments on time. You want to make sure that you allow for anything that could go wrong, because typically that happens if you're working on a Sunday night. Things can go wrong, so you may want to start early in the week and try to get your assignments completed, or at least get them started so you get a feel for how long it's going to take. And then the attendance policy, the last date to drop the course for the summer semester without academic penalty is Saturday, July 19th. And if you're not participating in the class, then faculty, and this is in any course, faculty can drop you from the course. Now, don't count on them dropping you. There are times when students stop attending and they assume that the instructor is going to drop them, and they don't. And when that happens, then you get to the end of the semester, you're still enrolled, but you haven't participated, then you're probably going to get an F in the course. So you want to make sure that you take responsibility in whether or not you need to add drop your course. More information about late assignments, so I'll let you read through that. There's also another deadline that's brought to faculty's attention, Tuesday, June 17th. If you have not submitted anything between the beginning of the semester and that date, then we as faculty are supposed to drop you as well. So, and participation in the course is considered, submitting an assignment, whether that be a discussion board assignment, weekly assignments that we have, tests, quizzes, whatever, that's considered participating. So if you haven't done any of that by June 17th, then faculty, and that's not, again, just not this course, but in any course, they can drop you. Then the next section, am I required to come to campus for this class? Yes, you will be required to come to campus to take tests. The tests are proctored. There's a midterm and a final, as well as a Microsoft Office certification exam, and all three of those exams are proctored. So if you're on the Evansville campus, you'll come to the Workforce Certification Center to take those exams. If you are outside the Evansville region, you'll need to contact a proctor on your campus and let me know that information so that I can send them the test. And there's more information about that procedure a little bit further down in the syllabus. The instructional method, again, it's online course, all online, so you may want to read through that paragraph, just giving you some tips on how to be successful in an online course. The grades, all the grades will be maintained in Blackboard's gradebook or the Grade Center, and this class is pretty heavy on assignments being completed in SNAP, and so therefore there's no seamless connection between SNAP and Blackboard. So what happens is when you finish your assignments, and typically what I do is I wait until after the deadline date each week, so probably on a Monday morning after the first week, I'll start transferring those scores from SNAP into Blackboard. And I would highly recommend for you as students to go through Blackboard's Grade Center. Make sure that I've transferred those scores correctly each week. Don't wait until the last week of the semester and try to check all those grades. There's way too many. So I need you to to keep up every week, make sure the scores are transferred correctly, and if they're not, contact me immediately. And in addition to the SNAP's gradebook, Blackboard's gradebook, I also keep scores in an Excel gradebook as well. So I've got all kinds of points covered here, I hope. Keep them correct. But if not, please let me know. Keep me up to date on those. Keep me on task and make sure that everything's correct in the Grade Center in Blackboard. Okay, the makeup policy section, I do want to read through this. It's important, I believe, because there's a lot of points that are at stake here. But if, and I'm going to read through the first paragraph, if a student knows in advance a test cannot be taken at the scheduled test time, the student may arrange with the instructor to take the test before the regularly scheduled test time with no penalty. So, in other words, if a test, let's say, is due the week of June 10th, and you know you're not going to be able to take it then, you can take it before everybody else does prior to July 10th. Before everybody else does, you can complete it before they do, and there's no penalty imposed. Now, the second paragraph, if a student knows in advance that the test cannot be taken at the scheduled time and cannot take the test before the regularly scheduled test time, then the student may arrange to make up the test prior to the next scheduled class meeting, and in our case it'll be the next week. You'll have a week to make it up. You can do that with a 30% penalty imposed on your test score. In our test in here, they're worth 200 points, so a 30% penalty would be 60 points off, and you'd be starting out with 140 points. So again, the penalty is steep there. So if you know you're not going to be able to take your test during July 10th week or whenever we have it scheduled, then you probably need to take it beforehand. But if not, if you have to take it after, a week after, you will have that week following. But anything after that week is a 0. And that's pretty much what it's saying there. If a test is not made up during the following week, the student will receive a 0 for that test. Another important item to note here is if you do not contact me by phone, then you will not be able to make up the test. So for example, if you know you're not going to be here July 10th, know you're not going to be able to take that test, you need to contact me by phone, not email, but by phone. Let me know so that we can make arrangements to make up that test. The next little area are talking about the quizzes. There'll be approximately 16 quizzes that you'll complete in SNAP. There's a quiz after every chapter. Typically the quiz has 20 questions in it, but the quiz itself will be worth 10 points. And you'll have 30 minutes to complete that quiz. Once you start it, you can't stop it, save it, come back and start it again, but you'll need to finish it within that specific time. And obviously, since this is an online class, you're going to be able to look up some of those answers if you need to, but I wouldn't totally rely upon using the entire time to look up every answer, because that's just not going to be possible. And then you'll notice in red that there are no makeups for the quizzes or any assignments. You're not going to be able to make those up, but keep in mind that the lowest quiz score will be dropped at the end of the semester. So if for some reason you miss a quiz, then we'll just use that as your lowest quiz score. And then as mentioned previously, last date to drop without academic penalty is Saturday, July 19th. And then we also indicate here the right of revision, that if we need to make changes to any part of the syllabus, we can do that, but I will let you know through an announcement. Then the course communication, kind of indicated that to you previously, but I would like for you to communicate to me through email rather than through messages. And you can kind of see here too, you can send an email through the Communication and Tools tab in Blackboard, but also if you're using Campus Connect, you can certainly send me an email through that too. So additional information about the communication part. Online communication etiquette, you can read through that as well. The assignments and grading section, some of this will be a review, but discussion boards will probably have maybe 2 throughout the semester, and we may only have 1 in the summer semester. I don't know. There's so much stuff each week that I'm not sure about adding a discussion board to that, but we'll have a minimum of 1 for sure, so maybe 2. So anyway, it just gives you a little bit of information about the discussion board area, and the grading rubrics are found in the course documents area. Also, when the discussion board assignment is posted, I'll attach a grading rubric to that as well, so that when I grade them, I can use that rubric, and then you can go in and look at your score, and your score will have the rubric attached to it. It'll all be contained in Blackboard. So again, the deadlines for your assignments, and especially with the discussion board assignments, will be midnight on Sundays. And again, no late discussion boards or any assignments. And then the SNAP assignments, again, is a training and assessment software which will help you learn Excel. Is web-based, and you'll be doing a lot of your assignments, your quizzes, performance evaluations. Those will all be done in the SNAP program. And I say midnight on things, but for SNAP, for some reason, there's not an option for midnight. So the SNAP assignments actually will disappear after 11:55 on Sundays. So please be aware of that. And again, I just highly recommend don't wait until the last minute to start doing these assignments. Number one, you never know, if SNAP's going to be down or if Blackboard's going to be down. And also, by starting early, if you have questions, then you can contact me, and hopefully that'll give me enough time to reply to you. So just start early on those assignments and get a good start on those. Quizzes we've already talked about. They will be completed in the SNAP software. There's no makeups. Okay, that's a review. The course exams. Okay, we mentioned this previously. There will be 2 performance-based exams, and actually the MOS exam is performance-based too, but what I mean by that, it's hands-on. So there's not going to be any true, false, multiple choice or anything like that. That's kind of all covered on quizzes. We do theory types questions on the quizzes, but on your tests they'll all be hands-on. You'll go directly into Excel. You won't be using SNAP on these tests. You'll just open up Excel and complete the test based on instructions that I give you. But again, those will need to be taken at the Workforce Certification Center if you're located here in Evansville. If you're outside the Evansville region, then you'll need to find a proctor. Your local Ivy Tech campus should have a proctor available for you. And I'll come back to that in just a minute. But so these are performance-based exams. You'll find here that I've already designated the dates, and if you want to go ahead and schedule those, that would be great. But you'll notice the dates available for Level 1 is Monday, June 30th through Saturday, July 12th. Now the reason for that, that's pretty lengthy, but the reason I did that is Friday and Saturday of that week is July 4th and 5th. The WCC in Evansville is closed. So I wanted to give enough time for those of you who needed a Saturday for testing. That's why it's extended so long. Okay, Level 2 test will not be that long. It's Thursday, July 24th through Wednesday, July 30th. So those are the time frames for Level 1, Level 2. The MOS exam, you can actually take it anytime you want. I would highly recommend that you wait until you get through all the chapters of Excel, but it too will be due by Wednesday, July 30th. And I talk more about that in just a minute, but both the final exam and the MOS will be due by July 30th. The next paragraph talks about those who are from the Evansville region. If you want to schedule your appointment online, you can certainly do that, or you can call them. I've given you a phone number there, and you want to make sure that you identify who you are and what class it is, who your professor is, and yeah, I think they respond a little bit quicker if you do it online. So if you can do that, you may be able to get your day and time a little bit quicker, at least a response to that. For those of you outside the Evansville region, you need to locate your regional proctor and the location. You've got to let me know that as soon as possible, because I've got to get those tests back to the proctor and other information that they need as well. So if you're outside the Evansville region, you're not going to be taking your tests at the WCC, then you need to let me know proctor's name, phone number, and their email address. You'll just need to send me that information as soon as you can. Then back to the MOS test. Again, this is the 3rd exam that you'll take, but it's an exam that's an international exam put out by Microsoft, but it's proctored, and it's supposed to identify specific skill sets that you've learned, and The cost of that exam, that voucher, is included in this course, so it's already paid for. And if you're taking the exam at any of the Ivy Tech campuses, they have a list. Obviously they know that you're enrolled in this course, and so they have the information necessary to complete the exam. In the course will be, or the test will be worth only 50 points. Now we're going to have approximately 1,400 points in this course. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but 50 points of that is of the MOS exam. Now when you go and schedule your exam, take the exam, Microsoft has a point system of 1,000, I think it is. So let's say you don't pass. Let's say you get 400 points out of 1,000. What I'll do, and that's 40%, then what I'll do is take 40% of 50 points, and that's how many points you'll get in the class. So you don't have to pass the exam in order to pass the class. Okay, I would love for you to pass it, but if you don't, don't let that devastate you. And also note that it's your responsibility to send me a copy of the results, either by email or fax, or you can scan it and attach it, whatever you need to do, but I need the results of your exam, whether you pass or fail. The exam voucher that comes with the course also has a retake in it. So if you can schedule, let's say you take your MOS exam on July 25th. That'll give you enough time. If you want to retake it, you can get it retaken by July 30th, and then I'll take the higher of the two scores. On the other hand, if you take it, let's say or even on the 25th, if you take it on the 28th or 29th, you're not going to have time maybe to retake it again, and that's fine. You've got 30 days to retake it according to Microsoft. So you've got 30 days to retake it. If you want to take some time and study a little bit more and try to pass, that's fine. But obviously your second test is not going to be able to be applied to our course, since our course is done and over and grades are submitted around July 30th. So anyway, that's all explained there. If you have further questions, feel free to email me or call me. Then we also are required to put in this certification licensure training disclaimer. So make sure that you read through that as well. Proctoring information, I'll let you read through that on your own. The points, kind of broken that down for each of the areas that you'll be earning points throughout the semester. Level 1, Level 2 tests are worth 200, 400 points, or total of 400 points. Each of them are worth 200 points. The concept quizzes, remember I said there were 16, each worth 10 points, so that's 160 points, but we dropped the lowest, so you're down to 150 points. The grades and the assessments, approximately 600 points. Now throughout the semester, I know there are times when some of those assessments and those evaluations aren't working properly, so at the end of the semester, I typically drop maybe 4 or 5 of these gradeds and evaluations. So kind of keep that in mind as you're going through. Don't let this program frustrate you. It's there as a learning tool, and the more you practice, the more you're on Excel, using Excel, the more you're going to learn. So anyway, so the performance evaluations would be about 200 of those, 200 points. The certification exam, again, as I mentioned previously, is 50 points. And then discussion board assignments, kind of iffy there, 10 to 20 points. The next paragraph there is talking about all the coursework must be completed by July 30th, which we've kind of alluded to previously. And then to calculate your final grade, typically all you do there is just take the total points that you've earned and divide it by the total possible. And that'll, when you divide that out, that'll give you a percentage, and then you convert that percentage to a letter grade. And the grading scale is listed below here. Additional support area, I'll go ahead and let you read through that on your own. And then I want to drop down to the calendar of events. So I've mentioned this previously. My name is in here, email address, office hours are in the Professor tab in Blackboard, phone number, all that's found in the Professor tab in Blackboard. And then the calendar, you'll notice here each week I've tried to tell you what week we're in, when it's due, and then the information, the chapters that will be expected to be covered during those weeks. So you can see week 1 is pretty heavy. I mean, we're doing 3 chapters. They're not hard chapters, but that's pretty typical that we cover 3 chapters a week. So a lot going on here, but the topics are listed here, the assignments and assessments. And I'd like to, if we could here at this point, if you would go to your textbook on page 30. Again, this is in level 1, okay? You'll notice your book, I mentioned previously, is level 1 and 2. And when you get through level 1, there's a set of page numbering for that. And then level 2, it starts page numbering over again. And it numbers the chapters again. So there's, in level 1, chapters 1 through 8. And there's an index at the end of that, which you may want to use. And then level 2 has chapters 1 through 8, and then an index at the end of that as well. But back to page 30. You'll notice at the bottom there the assessment. First assessment is called Create a Worksheet Using Autocomplete. Notice right beside that is a snap icon, and what that means is you'll complete the assessment snap, assessment 1 in snap. Now what I would recommend, and maybe before I do that, notice assessment 2 on page 31, create and format a worksheet and snap. So you'll be doing that in snap. Assessments 3 and 4, they both have snap icons. So those particular items, they'll be very similar to what you see in snap. Now jump to, let's see here. Yeah, jump to page 93. 93. You'll notice here, you can see assessment 2, assessment 3 on page 92, and then 93, notice assessment 4 does not have a snap graded icon to it. So what that means is that snap doesn't have an assessment that aligns to that assessment. So anyway, what I would recommend, I'm going to go back to, I know we can just stay right there, 92, page 91, 92, 93. What I would recommend, first of all, is for each chapter, go through the individual chapter, completing the projects just like they're showing in the chapter. Then go to the end of the chapter, and while you're in Excel, don't even go out to Snap yet, but in Excel, open up these files. For example, on page 91, you're going to see it says Open NSP Sales. That's an Excel file, and by the way, you can download all of your student data files from the publisher's website, and the instructions for that download is on the inside back cover of your textbook. So you would open up that workbook, and you can go through these steps, and essentially if you can make it through those steps and complete that assessment, then you're ready to go into Snap, which in Snap you're going to have 3 shots at completing the assessment, but those are all graded. And so if you want to practice first before you even get into Snap, you can certainly do that through these assessments in the textbook first. So, okay, now I'm going to come back to the syllabus here, and you'll notice I've indicated to you the assessments for each of the chapters. And again, I've gone through each one of the weeks, trying to give you a heads up as to how much we're going to be covering each week. Now notice in week 2, Week 2's chapter 4 and chapter 5, so that's only 2 chapters. And then week 3, you've got you got 3. 6, 7, and 8 are chapter 3, so you can see that. Okay. And then after chapter 8, we'll be taking the level 1 test. And again, I've made notations of the test dates here. Okay, so that'll be the week of June 30th. And then we start in with level 2, starting the chapter 1, 2, 3, all again, and those are all listed there, the week and the due date. And then at the end you can see the level 2 test, when it's the dates are available for you to take that, and then also the Excel exam, which again is due by July 30th. Okay, I don't know why that went back there. But anyway, so that covers the course outline and the syllabus too. So I'm going to break it here, and I'll create another demo for the Snap area and also for the tabs. I'll try to go through the area in Blackboard with you.